Can you guess how much this car on the screen costs in China? Well, if you guessed over $10,000, you're highly mistaken. This car is the Hongguang Mini EV, a Chinese electric compact car that was built in partnership with the US company General Motors, and its current price in China is around 4,000 US dollars. Hi, my name is Ruben Ben Yoshia. I'm a consultant here at US Auto Inc., and today I'm going to share with you why our company should expand into China's automotive industry. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to introduce China's automotive industry. Then I'll discuss its PESTLE framework. I will go into opportunities versus the threats, the recommendations, and lastly, I will conclude and open the floor to questions. China is the world's largest automobile market and the #1 leading automotive manufacturing company. In order to decide whether our company should expand into China, we must analyze the macro environment of China by using the PESTLE framework. And through this, we'll be able to determine the opportunities and the threats that we may face. From this PESTLE framework, we delve into the political, economic, sociocultural, technological, legal, and ecological factors of China's automotive industry, and we'll use that to make the proper recommendations needed for our potential expansion. So for the first, political, the main concern is the import and export tariff. China and the US are the world's two largest economies and have been engaged in a long trade war. This began when the US accused China of wrong trading practices back in 2018, resulting in US imposing tariffs on China reaching up to $200 billion at a 25% tax. China retaliated by doing the exact same thing. As a result, these high tariffs increase the cost for manufacturing, which then increases the cost for companies and consumers as well. With this in mind, if we were to expand US Auto Inc. into China, we may be losing an immense amount of profit just from the taxes. Next, we have the economic factor. For the economic perspective, China's GDP growth rate is very important in determining China's economy because the GDP is influenced by the imports and the exports, which is a major factor in China. As we can see in the graph above, China's annual GDP growth rate has been slowly declining. This is due to the trade war with the US, and then it dropped because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, Sebastian Eckhart, the World Bank lead economist for China, projects that the rate is going to increase to 8.5% as long as the COVID-19 pandemic stays in control. After that, it's slowly going to balance back into place where it left off at in 2019. From this, we see that the goal that Eckhart established for China is post-COVID is to have people recovering by raising household incomes. The labor market is going to recover as well, and improved consumer confidence will put China back on track. The next factor is sociocultural. As we can see in the graph, China has a huge consumer attraction rate, and it's always been in the plus. There's a reason that China's vehicle production accounts for 30% of the worldwide vehicle production. That's because people prefer Chinese companies over other foreign vehicles. With that in mind, we're all aware of Honda, Volkswagen, Volvo, Ford. These are all Chinese brands. They manufacture it in China. As we see in the graph above, Chinese annual sales have always been on an increase, except for 2017 to 2018 because of the trade war, and then 2020 because of the COVID pandemic. However, after the pandemic, we are projected to go back on track and go higher than ever. For the technological factor, China is excelling in electric vehicles. China imposed a mandate requiring automakers make up to 40% of all sales through electric vehicles by 2030. This is for multiple reasons. One, China is trying to get rid of the air pollution in the country, and they can also do this by and the electric vehicles will also improve public health, the climate change, and national security. Currently, out of Europe, US, and a few other countries, China has the most electric vehicles in stock. This is because electric vehicles are the future for China. Therefore, if our company is to expand to China, we would definitely want to hop on this electric vehicle opportunity and get a head start and make connections back to America. For the legal factor, there's the regulatory framework. On January 10, 2019, The NDRC, National Development and Reform Commission of China, made regulations more lenient for establishing foreign companies to be new manufacturers. In order to expand to China, we would have two options: to either partner up with a Chinese manufacturing company and share in profits and decisions, or the other second option is through China's Wally foreign-owned enterprise, the WFO model. This WFO model establishes a foreign company without a Chinese partner. However, the problem with that is you're at a disadvantage because one, the market doesn't really know you and they won't pick you, and two, the market also prefers what the government prefers, and the government won't prefer a foreign company. Another problem in China, the ecological factor in China is their biggest problem. It's the carbon emissions, which produces air pollution. Air pollution has caused many deaths in the country, and as you can see in the picture, it doesn't really look so clean over there. This is from carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, hydrocarbons, and other particulate matter. Therefore, the government placed the mandate asking for 40% sales by 2030 of electric vehicles. This is to get rid of all the pollution in the country. From this, we have multiple opportunities and multiple threats that our company faces. The opportunities are as follows. We can get a healthy environment if the pandemic is controlled. Moving into a healthier environment is better for our company. The Chinese market has a proven history of successful sales rates, which is definitely beneficial if we were to expand there. We would also have a head start in the electric vehicle production, which is fantastic for our connections in America. Lastly, if we decide to do a partnership with a Chinese company, that'll already make us familiar with the market there. However, for our threats, we would have a bad economy if the pandemic is not controlled. We're still at an awful trade war with America. The electric vehicle industry may be too expensive to manufacture, and we would be at a disadvantage if we do not get a Chinese partner, if we decide to act alone. From these opportunities and these threats, these are the following recommendations that I would make for our company to expand into China. When deciding between a partnership or a WFO, a partnership would be the better option, partnering with a Chinese company. For vehicles, we choose either gas or electric. We can do both. Prioritizing electric vehicles is the future and it'll lower pollution. However, gas vehicles are still higher in the market. Cost low or high. Our company should prefer to stay at low cost if possible. This will benefit everyone in the market. And for the COVID pandemic, we need to research and be updated with the pandemic in order to know the status of the economy's health. And lastly, the trade war. We need to lobby the US trade representative to end the trade war in China, and that'll make the economy stronger. To conclude, as you guys see, China's automotive market, is an excellent place to expand to. From the picture in the beginning, you guys saw the cheap $4,000 car is a winner in China as opposed to Tesla. It's the highest competition for Tesla, and it is definitely beating Tesla in China. So thank you all very much for listening, and I now open the floor to questions.